Hi, this is Dr. Natalie Cordova, and I'm going to walk you through my home stretch routine. Now go ahead and find a door jamb. You're going to stand parallel to it, bringing your elbow to 90 degrees, and you're going to lean forward and starting the timer now. Now with this stretch, you're really trying to open up the chest. You really want to get to the pec muscle that attaches to the ribs in the front. So you're stretching forward, you're leaning forward. It doesn't matter which foot is forward on the ground, but I like to have that staggered one foot in front of the other, and that way you just have a good, like a tripod kind of effect of leaning in away from that door, bringing that elbow back and away from you. You're stretching out that humerus so that it goes back behind you, opening up that chest, and you're just really holding that for a really good stretch. I don't recommend doing two at a time. It's not easy to do, and it's not easy to focus on that one area. It's a much better stretch if you just do one at a time. And you're gonna hold it, and you're gonna stretch, and you're gonna feel it, and it opens up. And sometimes you may feel a little tingling, a little numbness. If you feel pain, please stop. A little numbness, shake it out, see if you don't get that circulation going again. But you're holding this for 2 minutes. A lot of times when you see stretches that are recommended, they'll say, do a count of 10, do a count of 20. No, we're gonna hold this for 2 minutes. We want to make changes, not just to the muscle, but to the ligaments. And that's what we're digging deep, right? So we're holding it and really stretching the front of the ligaments that are attaching the humerus to the ribs, as well as the pecs that are attaching the bones to the other bone, and stretching it and opening it up. Because how long do you sit at a desk? How long are you hunched forward? Hours, right? We're trying to undo that so that when we try to correct our posture, it's easy to do. This is the biggest one that is going to sabotage us. When it's tight and it's too short, it's going to pull us forward every single time and cause us to have bad pain. So we've got 5 more seconds to go. We're really doing a great job, and it's about to be done. Great, you did it. Shake it out and get right to it, to the next one. So find the opposite door jamb, starting there. Again, you're bringing that back and bringing your chest forward. You really want to be able to feel a good stretch in that pec and leaning into it. And so with that, you're allowing the blood to flow, but you're stretching out the muscle. So you want to keep breathing and just holding it there. So this does go for a while. You've got 2 minutes per body part, and there's a few body parts that we're going to be doing today. I will typically get something that I'm reading or I'm listening to. I like podcasts, and I use that as a me time, right? I'm educating and filling my mind with good stuff, or I'll just be thinking about good stuff, or maybe I'll catch the Texans game on Sunday. But this is easy to pass some time by, and you're being productive, right? So if you typically wind down at the end of the day watching TV, great time to do that. I recruit my family. I make them do it with me, and it's not easy because they fight me all the way. But it's really beneficial, and I know it's good for them, so I'm okay with doing that, and it's good for you. And so you want to be able to really just push forward, leaning into in front of that door jamb. We've got 40 seconds now. Pulling that elbow back, holding it at a nice 90-degree angle, and you're just holding it and breathing. If there's some pinching, go ahead and readjust. Move your body part so that it's comfortable. You don't want any of these stretches to be uncomfortable. You want it so that you're stretching the front, but this one in particular, you may feel some numbness. You may be cutting off circulation because you're so tight, you're not getting good blood flow there on a regular basis. Got 10 more seconds. So allow the blood to flow, allow those muscles to stretch, allow the tendons and the ligaments to stretch so that your body is starting to learn the better and a good position. Last second. All right, good job. Okay, so now we're going to go to the legs. The first thing I want to do is the hamstring. So I like to have a nice high level. We're going to start for 2 minutes. So find yourself something that is going to let you have, we're stretching out the hamstring. Now the hamstring has a few attachments. So it attaches to the lower leg right here. It does attach to the femur, so there's some that's holding onto the bone there, and then it also attaches to the very bottom of your your pelvis, right? So the ischial tubes is where it attaches. So you want to keep both your pelvis and your spine lined up straight. And if you need to, hold on to another chair so that you're not falling over and that you're balanced and you're strong. So the focus is the hamstring. We're trying to, the biggest focus right here is going from the lower leg to the top of the leg, and you're really stretching that out. So do you feel that? Oh yeah. Another option is you can go to something lower. If you have a step stool or something just a few inches off the ground, you don't have to go this high. If this is way too uncomfortable, then find something lower. But the goal is that you're trying to open up this space here. And the reason why is we are often in a sitting position. So if you think about that, when you're sitting, it's your hip flexors that are tight, your legs that are tight, the back of your legs that are tight. And because this is at a 90 degree and this is at a 90 degree. And we're trying to open that up. And so we're trying to undo what we do all day long. And this is to the benefit of all the joints because we want them flexible and we want them strong. And this is the flexible part. We're trying to make this part flexible, which is typically really tight and short. So we're not just getting to the muscle and stretching them, but we're trying to get to the ligaments and stretching them as well so that you've got balance. And so the front is easily relaxed. We've got 10 more seconds. And you're just comfortable and you really feel it in the back of the leg, the hamstring part. 4 more seconds, holding it there. You're doing a great job. And done. Okay, now we're moving on to the next leg. Same thing. And switching to the next leg, get into a good position that the pelvis is holding your body up and over, and just hold it right there. And you should be able to feel the leg, the muscles just relaxing into it. It shouldn't be so painful the whole 2 minutes. It should feel like you're stretching, but you want a comfortable stretch. So again, you don't want any pinching of the joints, so there should not be any compromising, any pain, but you do want to feel that muscle elongating, stretching. You want to be able to have that pelvis so that it's straight up, holding your body over the pelvis, and you're not twisting in any way, and really elongating that hamstring. This is going to help you with your running. It's going to help you with any of your exercises, and it will keep you fitter overall. Again, you can hold on to something so you don't fall off. We don't want that. But these are really good stretches just to hold, to feel all the blood flowing, or maybe it's being so tight and constricted that you're not, but it will. After you're done with this, drink some water, get some rehydration, and allow your body just to heal, to feel better. We still have 38 seconds. 2 minutes can take a long time, but I set a timer and then I just go. Set the timer, go. Set the timer and go. And I know I'm going to be there for a good 20 minutes, but that's what it takes. We do have to work at having strength and flexibility, and this is the easy part to forget. It's the easy part to think, oh, I'll just do it tomorrow, or it doesn't matter. It does matter. How many times have we heard, people that are very strong pull a muscle because their muscles are too tight, right? And so a lot of times we're damaged and imbalanced, and we need to stretch to be able to get that balance back. So 1 second and we're done. Now the next one is working on the hip flexors. So you are working on the quads, and so you want to find a nice chair, or I do the leg of, we're going to start 2 minutes. I do the armrest of my couch at home. So what you're doing here, and I'm going to have to hold on to the wall, is you're trying to get the femur back behind you. So just like we did with the pecs, you're trying to keep the pelvis nice and straight and the femur back behind you. Holding it there, stretching the front of that muscle right there. Now this may take some getting used to so that you're really finding the part that's going to stretch the best for you. And all of us are a little different. So whatever is the most tight and you really feel that that's being effective, that's what you want. So you may want to try different angles, different heights to be able to support your lower leg so that you can get that femur in the right position. But you are trying to open up your psoas muscle, your hip flexor, so that you elongate that. So again, remember when you're sitting down all day long, that's the part that gets short. And so again, we want to balance that out. So we're trying to match this to what's going on in the back that's being stretched out all day. So right now, the back of you is able to contract and to be shorter, and the front is able to be elongated. And that's what we want. We want blood flow, we want the muscles and the ligaments to be stretched out and to get some balance and to be able to lengthen so that we can have a full stride in a run, full stride when we're doing any of our exercises, and we don't have that limitation. So again, you can just look straight ahead, having a nice alignment, picturing your shoulders up and over your hips, your head is over your shoulders, and you're just holding that, thinking good thoughts, making this a very effective stretch. I'm going to check my timer if I don't fall over. We've got 16 seconds, so we're holding it, we're doing great, it's easy, and you just hold it right there. And we're done. Now it's time to switch to the other leg. Oh, I'm gonna have to do this so I can still hold on to the wall. Okay, so we're up and back, holding that right there, and we start. Okay, so again, you want to have the lower leg, and you don't want your knee over your foot, so I better make sure I'm doing it right. So you don't want your knee compromised up and over your foot. You want your knee right underneath your right leg, and that's over your ankle, right? So that you have a nice balance on that leg, and you're really stretching out the front here. Now, some people, they call it the couch stretch, and you can actually bend your lower leg and go to the wall. That's a challenge, but again, 2 minutes. Holding that and really elongating and stretching that is very effective. You can see right here, this is what we're trying to do, get that hip flexor right there. Now this is not a hard exercise, it's not a hard stretch, but you want it to be effective. You want to make sure that you are feeling it, that it's being tugged, it's being pulled back, elongated, and that your pelvis is in a neutral position, that you're able to face the wall straight on, and that you're not having any twisting or torquing and no pain again. So you want this easy, you want to be able to hold this all day long, but just holding it for 2 minutes, that's easy to do as well. We're making change. We've done very effectively on one leg, now we're on the other leg, and it feels great. We've got another 38 seconds. Easy to do. Now if your foot is uncomfortable, then change your foot, and that's why I like the edge of a couch, because it's just, you know, a platform to be able to hold my my shin and not my foot as well, because right now my foot's being a little bit compromised. But get something that's comfortable so that you can just hang out and really get an effective stretch and make a big difference to how your body is. So another 10 more seconds. You're doing great. This is easy. And I hope that when you tell me that you've watched this, it's because you've actually done this and you didn't just watch this. So please join along with me. We're done with our hip flexors and our hamstrings. Now the other one we want to do, we're going to have to go to a wall, and we're going to do the back of our leg. And so I'm going to move this out of the way. Okay, so we're going to go to the wall, and we're going to hold here. So if you have like a pillar or the edge of the wall, you can actually pull yourself into the wall, so you're stretching the back of your calf right there. So those get very tight, right? And especially if we like to wear high heels or any type of heeled shoe, we're actually doing the opposite and making that calf muscle shorter. So we want to elongate that, open up the bottom of our foot, open up the back of our calves, and in a way I'm also getting the hamstring stretched. I don't think you can really isolate not getting that, but that's double the bonus for that hamstring, because that's a very tight muscle. So again, this is a very tight muscle, and you want to be able to feel a good stretch all the way from the heel to your knee, and then maybe even a little bit higher into the thigh, that it just is stretching that whole area out. And it feels very tight for me, I can tell you that. But it feels good, and I like this one a lot. And again, it's going to help your running, it's going to help your walking, it's going to help you and any of the step-ups, going up and down the stairs, that type of stuff, so that you have good flexibility and good mobility. Many times, we get setbacks by doing, a fascia problem, and you don't want fascia problems, and that's because the ligaments and the tendons are so tight that it becomes very uncomfortable, and that's because it's too tight. So you want to stretch it out before it becomes a problem, so that you get blood flowing in there and that you don't get irritations and little tears in there when you're going to go do your workout, right? So whether it's the back of your leg or the front of your leg or even the bottom of your foot, plantar fasciitis, that's the issue, right? And so it's just too tight. So let's go ahead and stretch that out. In 1 second, we're done. Now it's moving on to the next leg, and that's just as easy. Okay, so bring that toe up against the wall and lean it into the wall. And again, if you have something, you can pull it towards you, so you're really getting a very effective stretch. Okay, and you're holding it there. You can keep your heel on the ground, and that's probably better for you. And then as you're leaning into the front of it, you're really trying to stretch the back of the leg, the back of the calf, when you're with the foot that you're up against the wall, not the back of the foot. And you're just holding it, leaning into it, getting a good stretch. You can have a little bit of a bend in your knee, but you don't want too much of a bend. You want to be able to get that straight so that you can elongate the whole back of all the muscles that are attached to the femur and to the lower leg as well. So holding that, making a good stretch. We still have a full minute to go. So you're just hanging out here, just knowing that you're almost done. It feels really good, and you're doing a great service for your body. Keeping it going. We got another 30 seconds. So the goal for our bodies are to be strong and flexible. And this is going to go a long way in adding that flexibility, getting the mobility that we need and we desire to have, so that our bodies can keep us functioning for high levels for a long time. A lot of times older people will come into our office, and it's just from sheer neglect, that they just have not moved their body, they don't feel good, and it's so stiff because the bones almost become bone on bone with their knees, bone on bone with their ankles, bone on bone in their shoulders. It's just, they don't move. And that's it. Okay, so the last stretch is called the V-sit. This is a challenging, kind of odd position, but you go up against the wall, and I try to get my bottom as close as possible to the wall, and then you just go ahead and you bring your legs out. So this one goes actually 5 minutes long. Oh, got 5 minutes. And this takes a little while. So what you're aiming to do, one, is you're stretching out the hamstrings again. You see the theme? But you're opening up your legs right in here. And it's something that we don't do very often. And it will stretch you out here. So you want it comfortable, and you want to be able to feel the back of your legs and the inner thighs. So holding it there, and it's just easy to do. You just hang out for 5 minutes. Now, a lot of times what I will do is have my neck wedge under here, because I like to do the neck alignment at the same time, and so I'll hang out a little longer and get that neck alignment too. So it's good. So, but what you're doing right now is you're really trying to open up the muscles in the middle, in your inner thigh, right? So you're shortening on the outer thigh, which is so tight very often. Oh my goodness. And so they're just being stretched out, and this gives them a chance to relax and just to chill as you stretch out the front of, or the inner thigh, as well as that hamstring. So you're just holding it here. You can also try to get, your shoulder blades flat against the floor, your the humeruses to roll back and just to hang out there, and then it should be nice and comfortable. When you're off the ground, you got a problem, but hopefully over the next few months, you'll start to see them and feel that shoulder going back and getting flush with the floor. And that's a great goal to have. You want to be able to have your nose over your belly and just hang out here. It's an easy thing to do. And so sometimes I'll try to get a little further, trying to get a little wider, stretching it out a little deeper, and it's comfortable. It's not causing any pain, but it's really getting a deeper stretch, and you're just holding it here. Again, you're going for 5 minutes, so we've got lots of time. We're just hanging out here, thinking good thoughts, feeling good things, and just enjoying your body having a break from being so tight and caught up in the day-to-day. This is a great downtime. You just let your mind go, and you just be. I like it, and I hope that you do too. So I hope that this becomes a routine. You know, I like to do it at the end of the day. Sometimes I'll do it a couple times on the weekend because I have a little more downtime, and it makes such a difference. It's been helpful to my workouts. It's helpful to my recoveries because I'm not getting injured as much, and just I'm able to do it. And personally, I've been able to do 3 days a week of exercise, and now I can do 4, if not 5 days a week of exercise because I am getting a better flexibility in, and I'm not sore, and I'm not hurt, I'm not sore. Things are flushing through a lot more efficiently, and it feels great. And so I feel good. I really enjoy it, and I hope that my patients do too, because you know we just sit at the desk way too long. We are on our phones. We like to watch Netflix. It's just we don't move as much as we should be, and it really needs to be counterbalanced with flexibility and strength. And this adds specific stretches to the areas that are congested and tight and too short because we just are in those compromising positions for too long. So I hope these are very helpful for you and that you take these lessons home and do a good job. So we still have lots of time left. Let's see. Yep, I cleared it out. So it looks like, one more minute. We got 1 more minute to go. But you can feel your spine just flattening into the floor, and it's relaxing, and then and it's easy. Now when I try to get out of this, sometimes that's not so easy. So I will push up my leg and push up my leg and then shimmy out because it's been extended and elongated for a whole 5 minutes, and I'm not used to being in this position. So that way I baby step into it, and I hope that you do too, because you don't want to pull a muscle while you're doing this. That's not comfortable at all. But it should be an easy thing as you just relax and chill out here and feel great. So we should have probably 30 more seconds to go, exactly. And again, drink water afterwards. Think of some very healthy organic things to eat for dinner or maybe for your meals the next day. Just thinking good thoughts and doing good things to your body. The more we can to counter all the negative things in our lives, the better, right? So let's go ahead and start wrapping it up. We've got 5 more seconds. So I bring in my right leg, I bring in my left leg, I bring in my right leg, I bring in my left leg, and then bringing it down and roll over, and we're done.